Hello, welcome to this update. Let's see what's happening. So there's a little bit of severe weather today in the U.S. and also some winter stuff in other areas. So let's see. There's a slight risk of severe weather in parts of New Mexico and far western Texas, and a marginal risk mainly for tornadoes, 5% and 2% tornadoes. So be aware there. Have some ways to receive warnings. Wind 15%, might be some damaging winds, and hail also 15% for some large hail. Let's see, large hail, severe gusts, and some tornado threats possible across eastern New Mexico and parts of far west Texas this afternoon and evening. So be aware there. Tomorrow, also a marginal risk in Texas for some hail, a little bit of wind, and some tornadoes too. So be aware that they're in New Mexico. That's New Mexico actually. So and some slight storms there in the light green area. So actually strong to severe storms might be possible. Are possible in parts of eastern New Mexico on Sunday. Be aware for Sunday. Monday is mainly quiet, just some general storms there. So yeah, be aware. Let's see. There's just an elevated fire today, parts of California still, near Santa Barbara and Los Angeles. So nothing crazy, but be aware of some dry and windy conditions with some fire. So let's see. So we have a slight risk to excessive rainfall, Oklahoma, parts of Texas, especially New Mexico, the heaviest rain in New Mexico and Colorado. So yeah, tomorrow still a margin in Colorado, in parts of New Mexico, Texas, Kansas, and Oklahoma. And today there's that marginal in Washington too for the system there. Day 3, nothing. Day 4, kind of quiet. And day 5, nothing. So yeah, snow shows those higher snowfall probabilities in southern Colorado and northern New Mexico, and even in Utah a tiny bit. And tomorrow some more snow in Colorado still. Day 3, fairly quiet. Day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. Day 7 shows in Washington some again probably. And there's the snowfall probabilities today. Shows high in Colorado, parts of Arizona, and Utah. And yeah, shows Sunday shows in Colorado still. Monday still in Colorado a little bit. Monday night still a little bit in Colorado, and a lot in parts of Canada, the probabilities. Tuesday more than in Colorado, still only a little bit in Colorado. Next Tuesday shows more probabilities throughout Washington, parts of Alberta and British Columbia, especially in the mountains there, and later still kind of in the north there. So yeah, and let's see. So be aware, there's the day 3 through 7 hazards. So here, it's not showing anything big, just some high winds possible in parts of Wyoming, Colorado. Still some a little bit of flooding left in Florida with the rivers. But there's the heavy snow in Alaska, the high winds in western Alaska, and heavy precipitation central western Alaska. So they have to be careful there. Day 8 through 14 shows more rapid onset drought, and still in Alaska some heavy precipitation wind. So be aware. There's like still those temperatures a little bit colder in the west there in the mountains, but higher in parts of the south. Some is in Texas, in southern Florida, parts of California too. Some is tonight into tomorrow. Shows, let's see, shows some 30s and 20s in the mountains of the west, especially Nevada, parts of Wyoming, some 20s, and some high 30s parts of Washington, and that's not Washington, it's Montana, some 40s in other areas. Arizona is quite colder in the high elevation areas, parts of California, especially New York in the northeast, some 30s and 40s. Even some slightly whiter areas in New Hampshire, some like high 20s Fahrenheit. So be aware. Day 2 for Sunday afternoon shows the maximum temperatures. Let's see, still some like high 80s in southern Texas, some low 80s in Florida, in California, and still very cold in Colorado there in the mountains. Sunday to Monday shows very cold in the mountains there in Colorado, Wyoming, some areas of Arizona, New Mexico, a little bit colder too, parts of Utah, colder in the mountains, even Washington and Oregon, a little bit colder, and Nevada still. And just to kind of see a little bit closer, like in Colorado, shows some 20s in the mountains there, and potentially some small purple areas there, maybe like 15 or like something. So be aware. The next day, some 80s in Oklahoma and Texas there, some 70s in other areas, and still kind of cold in the mountains. So yeah, where is this? Here, national. So let's see. That's day 3 for, let's see here. For Monday afternoon, shows some amazing in Arizona, parts of Florida too. Day 3, let's see, shows colder in Montana there, in northern Maine, and parts of Washington and Oregon, colder again in the night and early morning. Some far east in parts of northern New Mexico too. Day 4, Tuesday afternoon, colder in the north and hot in the southwest and parts of the southern plains in Florida, a little bit hotter. And day 4, much colder in Montana, especially North Dakota and Washington, some 20s and 30s Fahrenheit. In the mountains of Wyoming, very cold at night. So this is Wednesday, Tuesday night to Wednesday. So be aware of those very cold temperatures in the north. Wednesday during the day shows still some 90s in the southwest, in Texas too, some 90s, in parts of Southern California, and like in Florida too, some 80s, and only some 4 is the maximum temperatures in like Minnesota and some areas. And at night, Wednesday to Thursday, some 20s and 30s, especially 30s Fahrenheit in parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, Montana, and some 20s in the Rockies, in the mountains there. So be aware. Thursday during the day shows some 90s, 99 in Arizona and Southern California, some like 90s in the southeast, mainly in Texas, and some 80s in Florida. Thursday night to next Friday shows still cold in the north there, in the northern Midwest, parts of the northeast, some 30s in the north, and parts of the Rockies still, so be aware of the temperatures. And the other day still hot in the parts of the south. So yeah, the 48 hour snowfall potential does show still in the Rockies there, parts of Colorado, that the main area close to 16 inches or 12 inches or more, and in Utah, tiny hint of snow in other areas. And the 24-hour wind gust shows winter in Montana, so it's very windy there in Montana. Be careful there. It's some slightly gusty winds in other areas, so be aware. There's like, so we'll show everything in a second, but there's those flood watches in New Mexico, the wind warnings in Montana, some air quality in California, red flag in California, some heavy freezing spray warning in the coastal northern Alaska, parts of central Alaska, winter storm watches and flood watches too, coastal flood statements near Hawaii, and parts of, yeah, let's see, still some flood warnings in some rivers in Florida, some winter red advisories in Colorado and Arizona, New Mexico, and some winter storm warnings in Colorado there. And yeah, let's see, in Canada, we have some snow squall watches in parts of Northwestern Territories, still the rain and snowfall warnings in parts of British Columbia and Alberta, because of those seasons. Alberta mainly wind warnings. So yeah, British Columbia, rainfall warnings, special weather statements, and snowfall warnings in the higher mountains, for example, shows the snowfall warning, parts of Fort Nelson. So yeah, be aware. You can click on each warning here and check it out. Nunavut, a wind warning in a small town there. In Quebec, wind warning in the north. Yukon, snowfall warnings in the red areas there. I'll show you in a second. And Northwestern Territories, there's a snow qualls watch. Snow qualls expected today, mainly west of Hay River, so be aware there. some snowfall warnings in other parts of northwestern territories, like southern northwestern territories and northern British Columbia. Some snowfall warnings. Northern northwestern territories might be true, and parts of southern Alberta, the wind warnings. There's the special weather statement there, British Columbia, for some prolonged heavy rain this weekend. So be aware. And this, like the GFS snowfall probabilities, shows those probabilities in the lower Rockies there in Colorado, and some higher snowfall probabilities across there, British Columbia, Yukon, Alberta, and those areas, especially northern Nunavut in Alaska. That system coming to Alaska, the higher probabilities shows in the next Monday some probabilities into Quebec, some areas that system crossing like Manitoba and Ontario, maybe some snow in the east there. And that shows some light snow probabilities in the northwestern US later next week. So yeah, we'll keep watching this. And let's see. So yeah, so the wind gusts does show those very strong winds in Montana there, and Alberta, like so close to 90 km per gusts in those mountains, even 100 showing there by the European, and keeps going north. That will be close to like some 40, 50 mile per gust, like 56 in Montana. So be aware there. Later on, does show like Texas and New Mexico might get some slightly gusty winds with those storms too, so be aware. Shows another system there in Washington later. This like Sunday shows a small system going to Washington there, and some 450 mile per gust in some areas, and then it goes to British Columbia, some stronger gusts there, in parts of Alberta still, and northern Montana by Monday. So be aware. Let's see. This keeps going. Next week, nothing crazy yet, but we might have some systems later next weekend near the west coast to watch. And like shows those light gusty winds next Tuesday, parts of the Rockies there, Montana, but nothing that crazy. So yeah, be aware. But there's something a little bit more crazy that will happen parts of eastern Canada. So there's that system building there. There showed you they will cross Canada with that snow, and then later next week you will exit through Atlantic Canada and join with a system in the Atlantic. So both systems will generate a lot of wind next Friday the 25th across parts of Newfoundland and Labrador, especially Nova Scotia and some areas showing a lot of wind across Labrador, some very high gusts, southern Greenland as well, and yeah, and then this goes away. But before that, showing some gusty winds in the ocean now. Today's Saturday the 19th and shows those strong winds in Quebec there on Monday too, some slightly gusty winds. So be aware in Ontario, some areas. There's now Saturday and Sunday those very strong winds in Nunavut, northern Quebec, so be aware. And then this keeps going to Quebec there. We'll start having those strong winds in Alaska because that system, so western Alaska already, by Monday, close like 100 km per gusts, parts of western Alaska, some 66 mile per gusts or more, 68. So be aware in those the westernmost areas of Alaska, and even the islands, but mainly in Alaska. Then this keeps going, some strong gusts in those areas still, some 60 mile per gust or more. This keeps going, maybe stronger in southwestern Alaska later on there. So then it shows another system developing for Russia next Thursday the 24th, going to like the Aleutian Islands with some high winds. So we'll keep watching that too. So there's that system from Russia now. They'll bring a lot of rain to Alaska. Parts of Alaska like Monday shows more snow. So there's the rain in the immediate coast and the snow behind it too. So be aware of the rain and snow. More snow for southern Alaska next Tuesday. It shows it going the snow going towards Yukon and the western territories. Then lots of scattered snow next week, just light scattered snow in many areas, but another system southwestern Alaska next Thursday. So yeah, be aware. The snowfall does show until next Thursday. the accumulation. There's some areas in Alaska close to 94 centimeters, like some 36 inches of snow because of this system. 36, 18 inches, so a lot of snow there. The GFS has more snow there, concentrating some western areas in 23 inches. The icon is like a little bit less than the European, like some 20 inches or more. So be aware, but this until let's put until next Thursday. So the icon until next Thursday has a lot too, close to 4 inches in some areas. The GFS has more as well because it was the wrong date before. So 17 to 20 inches. Be aware. There's the European for like, let's see, where is this? So here. So for parts of British Columbia and Alberta shows some 24 centimeters still the next 5 days. More British Columbia. Those areas southern Alaska more. So yeah, shows this snow getting lighter, but going to like Alberta, into Saskatchewan later, into Manitoba, some more snow, and later into Quebec, northern Quebec, like I showed you the snowfall probabilities there. So be aware, in Labrador, show some snow too, and yeah, in Nunavut, just plenty of snow there, lingering around. Southern Nunavut, not much, but northern, some Arctic areas. There's this area central northwestern territories with very little, but northern northwestern territories and some other areas more. So be aware those areas. And until Thursday shows more snow in Montana, parts of Washington too. So yeah, we'll keep watching. So be aware in those areas. Rainfall accumulation. Wait, what's happening here? This is so weird. So here, let's see. This is very weird. But like until Thursday, if it works, so it does show there in parts of British Columbia a lot, especially like lower areas. Some where's this? Some 93 millimeters or more. Might be snow too because there's a lot of mountains there. So this like precipitation. In Alaska, most of it will be snow in Alaska, but might be some rain too. And let's see. Shows more in parts of Quebec and Labrador, some 30 to 40 millimeters, 20, 50 millimeters. Till next Thursday, if I put this until next Saturday, already shows a little bit more. But be aware, in those storms there in New Mexico during the next few days, shows a lot of accumulation there, like more than 6 inches, close to 7 inches in parts of New Mexico, 3 inches. So be aware, northern Washington might get some 4 inches, so be aware there as well. These next few days, a little bit in Florida, but just some like showers, a thunderstorm or two, and yeah, this mainly it. So stay safe in those areas, the severe storms and everything. Let's just see the temperatures very quick for Canada because I showed you the U.S. before. So still in parts of Yukon shows some minus 27, minus 24 degrees, minus 22. So very cold. Northern British Columbia minus 6, 1, minus 5, minus 4. So be aware there. And then kind of fluctuates a little bit. Shows a little bit less cold in western Alaska before this front comes. But then the cold temperatures go into northern Alaska again there. But like today, Saturday the 19th, is still close to minus 20 degrees there, like minus 8 Fahrenheit or even less. So be aware. And then further south shows those temperatures very cold, northern central Alberta, minus 7, minus 2, minus 3, so very cold there, minus 1, 5, like minus 2, so very cold in those areas. And then this keeps going later next week, those cold temperatures climb further south. Shows like next Wednesday in Manitoba, big air negative temperatures, Nunavut, very negative temperatures, all for British Columbia, very cold. And let's see, this next Wednesday, next Thursday does show like colder in Ontario during the night and early morning. All of those areas there, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, very cold. And this the night In the afternoon, it might go up to like 9 degrees in some lower areas, but very cold still. And at night again, like very cold. It shows like, let's see if it shows you. Next Thursday still doesn't show anything, just northern Quebec, some active temperatures. But next Friday morning shows already some cooler temperatures in parts of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and parts of New Brunswick. There's some cooler temperatures. So yeah, we'll keep watching that and be careful. It's also showing here some slightly warmer temperatures in parts of southeastern Canada ahead of this system there. So, like ahead of the cold front on Tuesday the 22nd, show like some 24 degrees in Ontario, so some 21. So, yeah, a little bit better. And then that system comes with the colder temperatures. And let's see, this is the significant tornado parameter today. Shows some higher parameters there this evening, but nothing that crazy. And later shows some more there, but yeah, be aware. But nothing that crazy, but there's definitely the chance for some tornadoes. The the updraft helicity, the probability for like rotating updrafts, severe storms does show here a lot in New Mexico, some higher values there. There's show some like western New Mexico, most in central eastern New Mexico, so be aware. And like the HER shows here that rain there in Colorado, New Mexico, and later the storms start developing central, and those severe storms will congeal into that line. Shows one line in Arizona, parts of western New Mexico, and Utah shows another line central to eastern New Mexico. And tomorrow does show some other storms start firing tomorrow evening there and afternoon, so be careful.